2027. Kenya Moja, that formation that brings together younger MPs.
Yes, I agree about basically the challenge that today's meeting will have on the future politics as we go forward. But we need to situate it within our general constitutional framework in order to see what is actually going wrong with it. And in saying this, there are a couple of things that I need to observe. Number one is that Article 4 of the Constitution of Kenya declares that Kenya shall be a multi-party state based on the values under Article 10 of the Constitution. To be a multi-party state effectively means that parties will go to compete for power, and after you've gotten power, the group that wins power, in this case it was Kenya Kwanza, will govern over the next 5 years, and the group that will not win power, which may be the minority side, will be able to check the government on how it is governing over that period of 5 years. Clearly, the fact that you have now the broad-based government, it effectively means that that requirement of the constitution of lawful government is not met by the broad-based government, because you have a situation whereby ODM has taken all the minority seats effectively, all the most important ones, and Kenya Kwanza and largely ODA have the majority sides. So that at the level of political accountability, which was the main gain of multi-party democracy, Kenya is no longer being governed as a multi-party state. The BBG, a broad-based government, is for all practical purposes one-party government, because now Raila and Ruto are basically one party, who have captured all the institutions of the state, and particularly parliament, and now the rest of the people who ought to be having certain positions, like in order to be able to hold the government responsible, have nothing institutionally to be able to bring the government to account. And for me, that's a major constitutional challenge as we discuss anything else. The second issue, which is also related, is what we call the right to govern. The right to govern is given by the people. So that from the standpoint of 2022, when you do an elections and you win power, like from the standpoint of President Ruto, the issue would be that you will govern with those with whom you've been elected to complete the term. But when you read constitutional law scholars like Professor Nabweze of Nigeria and even Yashpal Gai, you realize that one of the problems of constitutional democracy of Africa has been that presidents win to power or with coalition A, but they govern the country with coalition B. Now, the history that my colleagues are giving has essentially been Raila is plan B for all the four previous presidents in recent times. And this is a perversion of the constitutional system that even constitutional scholars talk about.
Is it a perversion or really a gap that probably the framers of our constitution did not envisage? They did not see this happening, that someone identified a problem within the constitution and found a way to take advantage of this loophole?
Of course, the challenge has been that even when you challenge some of these things in court, because it's a high-stakes political game, there would be a lot of intimidation of the judiciary. For example, even the other day, I was the lawyer who went to court. The court declared Azimio the majority party. You'd have expected that, for example, Raila Odinga would institutionalize, and that is what somebody like Governor Orengo wanted. And he gave the opinion at that time, that now that the courts have declared Azimio is a majority, why don't we take our position as a majority and we govern under the constitutions? But it is obvious that because that was what we can call an Azimio victory, Raila Odinga chose to give up the Azimio victory in order to get inducements for ODM, so that it is what was sacrificed was Azimio. And even in NADCO, it is the same thing. Part of the issues of NADCO was to ensure that Azimio would be consulted. But again, Raila effectively betrayed his colleagues in Azimio and chose to contribute in the appointment of election officials that are restricted to him. And right now, they are still capturing the mandate of a NADCO report. NADCO report was not between ODM and UDA. It was supposed to be Kenya Kwanza versus Azimio. But again, you see that betrayal. And that is why the smaller parties like Pamoja, whatever, the middle ground Kenya Moja, when they are coming up, it is because we have had serial politics of betrayal, in which the purpose of a constitution is to arbitrate politics. But the Kenyan constitution is no longer arbitrating politics. Politics is being arbitrated by two individuals. And that is why the source of what we are calling the perversion. So that you say we are going to compensate people. The compensation without justice, as the Standard newspaper, I think, was saying, corpses, money being thrown to corpses. They kill your son, they give you money. Whether this is justice or not, it is clearly something wrong has gone wrong in Kenya. There is a law that has been established called the Victims Fund, and which is supposed to be run by the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights to be able to govern this. But again, what are we seeing? You capture the mandate of state institutions, and in order now to play politics with issues of the day. And if you want to fight the Americans' concern that you are killing people without justification, you try to muddle the waters and appear that you had your own answer, which is not the answer contemplated or envisaged under our legal system. So there is something wrong. You need to understand it at that deep level, so that now you can be able to say, how do we return our country to the correct course under the Constitution? Not a constitutional defect. It is really a situation. And that is why sometimes I keep saying, and I say in good faith, I have deep respect for Raila Odinga, that perhaps some of the break that this country may have is to have this day when Raila probably is not part of, he exits the political stage and is not part of the plan B. Because the plan B has cost, is everybody mpango wa kando.
Yes.
And this thing of Raila being mpango wa kando for everybody is a serious problem under our political system.
Yes, indeed, the sitting at State House today, bringing together ODM and UDA, will effectively ensure that the leader of majority